all I want when I watch the Super Bowl is to watch the football. You know, I watch the commercials because this has become sort of a cultural totem. It's become a cultural hallmark. Everybody wants to watch the commercials, and that's fine. That's great, except I have to say the commercials have been steadily in my lifetime getting worse and worse. I mean, the commercials are basically all just sex jokes and monkeys and pets. Like, ooh, people like monkeys. Let's put that in a commercial. Well, what about babies? People like babies too. Let's put that in. How about we'll have a monkey baby dog, which they actually did in a commercial yesterday. So the commercials were really quite terrible. But what I really, really hate is that the left has decided that every cultural event has to now be dominated by leftism. All of them. They have to be dominated by leftism. So imagine, for example, that you had a Super Bowl and it took place in Texas, and there was a country singer, and the country singer surrounded himself during the Super Bowl halftime show with a bunch of kids who are holding Bibles and a bunch of women who are holding crosses. Imagine if we did that. And let's say that, you know, for example, it was a bunch of white people, and they're also twirling rifles, right? Like we do sometimes at parades. Do you think that the media would have a field day with that? Oh, you bet the media would have a field day. It's so alienating, so terrible, so non-inclusive. Beyoncé, who is now married to Jay-Z and can do no wrong, she farts social justice rainbows. But Beyoncé is considered this wildly talented, massive talent, just a joy to behold, a real addition to God's earth. Okay, Beyoncé actually has a really good voice, or used to. I don't know if it's good anymore because she hasn't sung in 5 years. So Beyoncé now has been relegated to shaking her boobs, shaking her ass, and racial commentary. That's basically what her stunt is now. Ever since she married Jay-Z, who, by the way, is a jerk also. Jay-Z wears a medallion called for what is called the 5% Nation. The 5% Nation believes that black people are superior to white people. And that's their actual literal belief. And so Beyoncé does her halftime show. Now, I'm going to watch a little bit of the Beyoncé halftime show. First of all, I want to point out, everybody who says Beyoncé is a magnificent dancer, no, she just looks like her ass is having a seizure. But she says that everybody who acts like this is not a stare, okay? This is not Gene Kelly. Let's stop her. She's not, you know, a Russian ballet dancer. She's a lady who's twerking. She's like one step above Miley Cyrus. But putting aside the artistic commentary here, because her music, like lately her music is garbage also. So her dancing is basically just how much can she jiggle, and her music is how much can she get away with. Here was what happened at the Beyoncé halftime show. Let's play it. First of all, I don't know why Joe Pesci is there. What great dancing. You just might be a black Bill Gates in the making. I get it, Alabama, I'm a Louisiana. You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby hair and afro. I like my Negro nose with Texas pie and straws. Okay, so we don't have to watch the rest of this. You get the idea. The women who are dancing behind her, you can freeze frame it. They're all wearing Black Panthers outfits. They're wearing the Black Panthers berets. They all have their hairs their hair froed out. There are no white women in this entourage. They're all black, right? There are zero white. Remember Oscar is so black? Beyoncé halftime, or Oscar is so white? Beyoncé halftime show so black, right? There are no white people in this. And at a certain point here, they actually form an X on the field, like Malcolm X, right? Is the idea here, and later, all the women took a picture. Somewhere in here, they all go like this. They give the Black Power salute. And later on, they give a Black Power salute again. And her mom shows up to give the Black Power salute. The lyrics that she's saying, in case you can't understand what she's saying, because why would you? The lyrics to her song go like this. My daddy, Alabama, mama, Louisiana. You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with baby hair and afros. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. Okay, so you've got a bunch of racial stereotypes. I didn't realize that Negro was back in style, but I guess that you can get away with that if you're Beyoncé. And then the rest of the song goes like this. I did not come to play with you hoes, haha. I came to slay, bitch. I like cornbreads and collard greens, bitch. El Camino with the seat low. Sippin' Cuervo with no chaser. Sometimes I go off, I go off, I go hard, I go hard. When he F me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster, 'cause I slay. If he hit it right, I might take him on a flight on my chopper, 'cause I slay. You might just be a black Bill Gates in the making, 'cause I slay. Okay, so so if there is a smart black kid who goes to school, is highly educated, and creates a massive company, it's because of Beyonce. Yeah, right. Also, there's nothing I like better than a bunch of anti-black stereotypes being put out there by black people. That's always great. I'm sorry, but if a white person said about a bunch of black people that what makes you black is that when you get screwed good, you take your ass to Red Lobster, everybody would realize just how racist and terrible that is. But Beyonce gets to say it because the rules don't apply. And again, the Black Panthers were a terrorist group, okay? If you had a white terrorist group that were being honored, a bunch of people in white sheets out there in the middle of the Super Bowl, everybody would realize how disgusting this is. By the way, Cosmopolitan calls this garbage piece of non-music the most perfect song since the Paleozoic era. Somebody should note to them the Paleozoic era was not really it's not respected for its tunefulness, the Paleozoic era. But the music video for this is even worse. I mean, if you actually look at the music video that this is based on, in the music video, there's a line of white cops standing by as a black teenager walks up to them. And then there's a wall with graffiti that says, "Stop shooting us." Let me ask you, if she really thinks that this is going to make any black kid in America better off, what black kid in America is better off because of this? What black kid isn't going to get shot in the inner city because of this? What black kid is going to get an education because of this? She's just making millions off of a stereotypical depiction of a really negative and nasty culture. Malcolm X was a pig. Okay, Malcolm X, until he had his Islamic revelation at the end of his life and realized basically everything he'd been saying was wrong, Malcolm X was a garbage heap of humanity. He was a bad guy, Malcolm X. Martin Luther King at least promoted good things. He had his own personal foibles, but he promoted good things. Malcolm X is the guy who used to call white people white devils. And so paying homage to him during the Super Bowl, right? This is the most watched event in America every year. This is where we have come racially. The post-racial era isn't the post-racial era, it's the post-decency era, and Beyonce leads the way. In any case, let's get to a couple of major songs. There's a new song that is out by someone named J. Cole. The song is called Wet Dreams. So you can imagine how grand this is going to be. Wet Dreams by J. Cole. And it is spelled with a Z at the end, which means that it is going to be even better than normal Wet Dreams, you assume. Here is J. Cole and Wet Dreams. This, of course, is a song that is being consumed by millions of people across the country, enriching America's life, enriching America's culture on a daily basis. Man. Okay, so this is obviously about how he found the love of his life back in grade school, and it sounds very innocent. I mean, obviously very innocent when you start off by saying that she had long hair, brown skin with the fat ass. Clearly, this is someone who really has her value as a human being in mind. This is clearly a true love affair beginning. She had mad jokes, which means, of course, that she had a terrific sense of humor. The teacher got mad, so they passed notes. It started off innocent. She had a vibe, and an N-word started digging it. And then the saga continues for J. Cole. I was a young and straight crushing, trying to play. What a classy dude. I mean, seriously, what a classy dude. I can't imagine how any woman has rejected, spurned his advances. This is the kind of stuff that, and again, what I think I like best about this particular song is the female vocals in the back, which sound like a 13-year-old girl singing. Because there's nothing quite as culturally edifying as listening to a song about this guy having a crush on probably a 13 or 14-year-old girl back when he was in high school, and thinking about having sex with a 13 or 14-year-old girl and thinking back on it as a 30-year-old man. That's not disturbing in any way. And then using voiceovers from women who sound like they're 13 years old. It's super classy and does not promote underage sex in any possible way. And it certainly doesn't promote pedophilia in any possible way to hear a grown man singing about how sexy a 13-year-old girl was and how he still thinks about having sex with her. It's just class all the way up and down. If you missed the point, he never did this before. No. And this forward young woman was about to receive a crash course in gentlemanly conduct from Jake. And she's classy all the way through. And clearly this young woman needed a parental figure in her life to tell her, perhaps you shouldn't have sex with the random kid sitting next to you in class. For those who are missing the joy of these lyrics, he said, I wrote back and said, of course I had sex before, knowing I was frontin', which means that he was bluffing. Said, I'm like a pro baby, knowing I was stuntin', because not true. He said, but if I had told the truth that I'd get played out, son. Hadn't been in female genitalia since the day I came out one. Very classy dude. And then she says, oh, you're a pro, homie? I want you to show me. And she wants him to come over. And this romantic consummation moves toward its just absolutely beautiful conclusion. My mama gone. Yeah, again, we're talking about like a 13, 14-year-old girl here. Just super classy. Super classy. Very nice. And I like how he refers to his genitalia as his little man. Nothing says class like that. And he keeps talking about how certain biological functions are taking place that prevent him from standing up. Just it's very nice all the way through. And I can't imagine why this doesn't have a better impact on the culture and why it doesn't have a better impact on people who listen to it. And for people who want to know the conclusion of the song, he goes over to her house. He practices how to put on prophylactics. He's watching pornography to learn how to treat women, because that's clearly where you should learn to treat women, is from pornography. And then it's time for action. Pull out the prophylactics, just how he practiced. But right before he started, she flinched and said that she too was a virgin. Wow, what a punchline. So did that stop him? No, of course not. Did that stop her? No, of course not. So they're both virgins. What a wonderful story about losing your virginity. You know how I lost from my virginity, gang? I was married at the time. And you know what? Never regretted that for a second. My wife, also a virgin at the time. Never regretted that for a second. But we can't tell those stories because that sounds nerdy. See, it's nerdy to talk about how you were a virgin until marriage. No, it's classy to talk about how you were. It makes you more of a man to talk about how you had sex when you were 14 years old with the girl sitting next to you, and then to rap about it 15 years later, still fantasizing about the 13, 14-year-old girl sitting next to you in class. Yuck. Ben Shapiro Show, AM 770, KTTH, KTTH.com.